Hey friends, we're celebrating 1 year in the podcast YouTube biz, so help us celebrate by smashing that subscribe button if you haven't already. Leave a like, it really helps the channel grow. Happy 1 year anniversary, Brother Benny.
Yeah, happy anniversary.
Sheesh. Where can they find us on social media?
You can find us, Ray Benny Sports. We're on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and of course, TikTok. And don't forget, check out social media. We got a contest going on. Draws tomorrow night at 8 p.m. But for Bomber tickets for this Saturday's game against the Elks.
Yeah, it's gonna be rocking again. Like they're gonna be pressing close to 30,000 again. It's gonna be another nice evening.
Yeah,
get in that for free tickets.
Yeah, for sure. And it's
nice.
always great when October has beautiful weather, especially at night, man.
Yeah, I wish just the leaves would stay off the ground so I can golf a little more. just one more week of golf, Mother Nature.
No? Just giving you some time. Today's a little bit chilly. Tomorrow, not so great, but
yeah, Mother Nature's undefeated.
Yes.
Yeah.
You'll just lose a bunch more balls in the leaves. They'll get hidden under the leaves there. So
yeah, like anything, you lose more balls. We got some NFL and CFL quick and dirty predictions. We got football hot topics. We got some Winnipeg Jets talk. The season is just around the corner, but let's start off with some Winnipeg Blue Bombers talk. They are bringing back an old friend in Alan Darby, a CFL All-Star sitting on the sidelines in Hamilton. What a waste. Another example of how Hamilton's just messing everything up, but we're happy here to have him back, I'd say.
Yeah, I agree. Hamilton just blew all their signings this year. But yeah, it's great to have him back. It's a great move. Gives some depth in that position that had some guys hurting. Mm-hmm. O'Shea finally said it today that Nick Taylor is out for the year with his Achilles. So there's always that little bit of optimism that he might come back, but they knew, and they got Darby. Guy knows the system. Obviously, he played here for 2 years, won 2 Grey Cups. Yeah. So he's going to fill in nicely, and I love the move.
He can play in multiple positions too.
Yeah,
he can play down at linebacker, halfback, or corner. And you know what? Hamilton's not getting robbed. They're getting a good young Russian in Wilcox. He's looks good in Winnipeg since training camp.
Mm-hmm.
He's one of those eyebrow raisers, so they're getting a good player, and the Bombers are getting a good player. So fair deal. It's just nonsensical that Hamilton didn't use him.
Yeah, he didn't last very long as a starter, right? At all. Did he even start? And then the guy got hurt, and then I think he started after that. But once he came back, so good move by the Bombers. They also signed Desmond Lawrence, who was a DB with Hamilton last year as well, and their Rookie of the Year nominee from Hamilton too. So more depth added to that practice roster.
Yeah, you can always count on Kyle Walters and Ted Govea and Danny Mack, always just bringing in players nonstop, doesn't matter what part of the season that they're in.
No, you got to load up here. You got to have guys that are healthy, and there's still 4 more weeks left of the year, or 3 more weeks for the Bombers playing wise.
Yeah.
So guys can get hurt. So got to be prepared. You don't want to be shorthanded going into the playoffs after having a great season.
Yeah, just in case y'all didn't notice, CFL, the Bombers are going all in for a 3rd chip.
They are.
We're going all in for a 3rd chip. Let's just talk about maybe the lack of action in the rest of the league for the trade deadline, and perhaps disappointing in Saskatchewan since they're hosting the Grey Cup and they did nothing. I don't get it, man.
Yeah, the CFL trade deadline is usually pretty quiet anyways. Usually the Bombers are the only ones in the last 3 years that have made trades or made moves around that.
Yeah.
And you think, teams might look at that and go, hey, they had success. They got Claros. They traded for the rights of Castillo last year, and now Darby.
Yeah.
So, they had some success with those moves, obviously, right? So you think some teams would notice that and see what they can do, swing a deal. Like you say, Saskatchewan, see if you can find an O-line. Maybe they did, I don't know, but at least see if you can find someone to give Fajardo some protection.
Yeah.
You got 4 games left here? 3 games left for them? No. Yeah, 3 games left for them. You got to make these playoffs at least, right? You got to give some hope that you have a chance to make the Grey Cup. Once you're in there, who knows what happens? But O'Day he stood pat, didn't do its thing.
Yeah, even Bombers, they signed a depth offensive young Canadian lineman.
Yeah.
And that might not even be for this season. But hey, you're telling these linemen we're still bringing in young guys. You better be at your game.
Yeah.
So I don't know what Saskatchewan's doing. It's like you're going into the playoffs, you're hosting the Grey Cup, and you make no moves. I think there needs to be regime change in Saskatchewan.
There probably will be. Especially there might be regime changes by the weekend if they lose this week against Hamilton.
Yeah, exactly.
At least the fans will be calling for it.
God, you know it's National Be Nice Day today?
Is it really?
Yeah. Say something nice about the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Ooh, should I come back to that one at the end of the show?
They're our neighbors? I don't know.
They are our neighbors. Way to say something nice on National Be Nice Day. Let's look at, we're coming to the end of the season with these All-Stars, and let's look at the quarterback, running back, and wide receiver position on the offensive side of the ball. Who would you choose as your CFL All-Star starters? One in those positions, QB, running back, wide receiver. Let's start with QB.
Got to give it to Zach Claros. Guy's having a fantastic season, leading the league in passing. Career high for TDs for him. You know, it's been going pretty good. Not always smooth or in rhythm like we're always asking for or nitpicking about, but pretty good season for him. And as he's getting older and he's getting more familiar with this Bomber offense, he's getting even better and better.
Absolutely, absolutely. I cannot not take Zach Claros, but I'll give a shout out to Nathan Rourke for the season he was having. On a per game basis, he was having the best. Like, look at comparable to the rest of the QBs in the CFL. It's been a really bad year for QB play in the CFL. To be honest with you, and to have Rourke was such a great, never mind he's Canadian. Just have a young, great QB like that play at the level he was playing at. Was exciting to see. So I'll shout out his name. At running back, I'll take his teammate James Butler. I think he's just a great running back. Power game, great blocker, and also a great receiver. He'd be my starter at running back.
I'm going to give that nod to Kadeem Carey. Dude's missed a few games here and there. He's been injured here and there, but he has put up some great numbers, leading the league in rushing. And like he said, he has those same abilities as well as Butler, rushing that ball, making catches, and taking that ball even on the catch and getting some yards out of nothing. So
yeah,
pretty good season for him. He's done. He's been a thorn in the Bombers' side all three games when they played them. So going into the playoffs, if he can stay healthy, he'll be a big factor for Calgary.
Oh, they're warming up. They're warming up again. Dickinson and Calgary and Huffnagle. Any which way. If we face them, we face them. We'll see. We'll talk about them then. Wide receiver. I got Malik Henry, Kadeem Carey's receiving teammate. I just think he's just such a dynamic receiver. Put the ball up in the air, he's going to get it. You can say that about a lot of receivers, but he's been having a great year this year.
Yeah, and they signed him to extension too, right?
Yeah.
So he's not going anywhere, unfortunately.
Why? What do you mean?
Why would if he would have left Calgary and went somewhere else and played somewhere else instead?
Oh, I see, like Ottawa or something.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't see them as often.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Who got a wide receiver?
You know what? There's so many good guys. There's Dominic Rhymes, Dalton Schoen, obviously great rookie season. I'm going to give it to Jalen Acklin, just because the dude's been putting up some great numbers, playing with some mediocre QBs and kind of a mediocre offensive system, but he is showing up when his numbers called, and maybe Ottawa should have used him even a little bit more, but he's had a pretty good season.
I agree. He's such a great receiver. He was in Hamilton the year before.
Yeah.
Great signing, and he's been worth every dollar. He's been pretty much the only shining star in Ottawa this year.
Yeah, and the fact is that they weren't using him as much as they could have, and he still put up great numbers.
Yeah.
Sometimes he wasn't targeted till the third quarter. It's like, this is your best receiver. Get him the ball. But
horrible.
I guess that's why Lapo's not there anymore.
Go Bobby Dice. We'll see what's up.
Yeah, good luck to him.
Dice. We just talked about say something nice, be someone nice, whatever, National Day. I'm not very good at that. So let's say something nice about Saskatchewan as well. They're hosting the Grey Cup.
Yeah, that's great for them.
Yeah, but that's it. That's it. And there's this ridiculousness going on. I read this great article by Rob Vanstone, I think. There are people in Saskatchewan comparing this team to the 89 team. What is going on in Saskatchewan? What?
I guess not both those teams. The 89 team got on a hot streak at the right time and ended up winning the Grey Cup, and I guess that's what they're hoping for in Saskatchewan. But, I mean, the way things are going, like we said, they're 2-10, or 2 wins in their last 10 or whatever it was. 10, so, yeah, if they can't turn around this week against Hamilton in Hamilton, it's even if they make the playoffs, I can't see them beating Montreal and Toronto, wherever the West final or East final is or whatever. But those defenses for Montreal and Toronto are actually pretty good. And we've seen Saskatchewan's offense struggle against good defenses. So
look at the roster. Like, compare the rosters of this club to the 89 club. There's no comparison. Quarterback, Kent Austin, Tom Burgess. Yeah, one of the best kickers of all time and robo-kicker. We had Roger Aldag. Yeah, we had Roger Aldag, no neck, that James West talked about in his interview. Check that out in our archives. Their head coach was John Gregory, not Dickinson. So this comparison is absolutely ridiculous. Saskatchewan fans, y'all need a reality check.
It's more of a hope than anything else.
It's insulting is what it is. Come on, don't insult that 89 team, one of the greatest Grey Cup winning teams, and I'll admit that in one of the greatest Grey Cup games ever. Let's go on. It was an amazing game.
Yeah.
Let's go on to the CFL quick and dirty predictions. First game, Friday Night Football, Saskatchewan and Hamilton. Who you got in that game?
You know what? It's tough on this one. Yeah, it's tough. Not that it's going to be a terrible game. I mean, it could be. Who knows? But it's just tough to pick one. Both of these teams have been pretty inconsistent. Obviously, we talked about Saskatchewan. They've lost 4 in a row. Hamilton, world beaters against Bombers, and they stink against Montreal, or not as good against Montreal. I'm going with Hamilton because they're at home. But there's so much on the line here. Saskatchewan. If Saskatchewan wins, Hamilton's basically done. Yeah. You know, if Hamilton wins, Saskatchewan still has a chance, but I think mentally they're probably going to be done. So
Saskatchewan's bad play, and they're just horrible coaching. They're making a liar out of me, and I think I will have to pick Hamilton this week. I was like, I'm not going to pick Hamilton the rest of the year.
You said that 2 days ago.
Yeah, I have to be a liar because Saskatchewan's just been absolutely piss poor the last 12 weeks of this season. Ugh, they're done. So I'll take Hamilton.
And if Hamilton can do pass rush wise what they did against the Bombers, you know, if they can have that same kind of game plan or that same kind of success, Fajardo's going to have a tough time, man. And if they can give Evans enough time, you know, but this is it for Hamilton, obviously. I mean, they got to finally step up and get this, man. We've picked them so many times over the years, over this season, thinking, hey, they finally turned that corner, and then they go back to stinking it up.
I'm ready for episode 67 to bite me in the ass when we report that Hamilton has lost again. Don't worry, it's going to happen. A good game. Also, Lions Argos in Toronto. Important game for Toronto. Important game for BC. BC loses. Winnipeg clinches the Western final. And Toronto with Montreal nipping at their heels. Who do you got in this game?
Yeah, Winnipeg still needs to win to clinch if BC loses.
Yes, so Winnipeg win, BC loss, yes.
You know what? I don't even have a pick for this one because I was just like still trying to think of this. I said in my power rankings, I still pick BC over Toronto. So I'm going to stick with BC. Stick with BC winning this game in Toronto. I think it's going to be close. I think it's going to be a coin flip. Obviously, Vernon Adams, he's going to face a tough D in Toronto. So it'll be a good test for him to see where he's at. But I'm going to pick BC in a slight victory here. Predictions
off of the power rankings. I got the Argos in this one only because they're at home. They're at home, and I wasn't too impressed by Adams beating Ottawa.
Elks that's nothing. You beat a team that's down and out kind of thing.
They're not good. They're not good.
No. So, but Toronto, you know, you had a chance and you ended up losing, not putting up much of an effort even against Calgary, which is kind of disappointing. But this is it for Toronto. Toronto has to prove
they got their ass whooped against Calgary.
Yeah, they got to prove that they can beat one of these good teams here. So at some point,
we'll see. Elks and Bombers on Saturday. I'm going to take the Bombers.
Bombers.
There's not much really analysis in that.
No, that's too bad. Lawler's out for the year. You know, rough season for him. Not the greatest all around. So we'll see where he ends up next year because this was just a 1-year deal, right?
Yeah.
Edmonton always seems to play Winnipeg tough. Chris Jones always has his team ready to play against Winnipeg all the time, no matter where he is. So, but like you say, they can wrap up first in the West, or they can put, you know, the ribbon on it, even if they win and BC wins, because then they just need one more victory after that or a BC loss. So,
yeah, time to put these trap games away for the Bombers. Loss against Montreal, loss against Hamilton. No more, none of that. Ottawa and Montreal on Thanksgiving Monday. We're just talking about how subdued Thanksgiving is in Canada compared to the States. Thank goodness. I don't need another holiday where I spend hundreds of dollars for nonsense. Ottawa, Montreal. Christmas is coming. I got Montreal at home in this one. Who do you got?
All I'm going to say, I have Montreal too. And all I'm going to say, good luck, Bobby Dice. Hope you do well.
That's about it on that game. Let's move on to some NFL action, NFL hot topics. Which QB are you most concerned about in the NFL at this point in the season?
I'm going to go with Matthew Stafford. The guy just got beat up on Monday night against the 49ers. He's been getting hit a lot. He's 4 TDs to 6 INTs so far this year. Yep. Besides Cooper Kupp and Higbee, it's like he's got no one else he can look to in odd offense or no one else he trusts beyond that.
Allen Robinson. Oh.
Yeah, I mean, you think, hey, Allen Robinson, finally he's getting a good QB to play with, and it's still not working out at all for him. And even one Monday night, they barely targeted him. They targeted him a couple times, and that was it. So he got sacked 7 times against the Niners and pass rush and hit more than that, obviously. But I don't know, his injured elbow, I don't know if this is affecting him, but he does not look the same as last season.
No, he looks like a 14-vet quarterback who took a lot of hits in Detroit and finally got his championship, and he's good to go.
Should have rode off into the sunset.
Yeah, it would have been beautiful. But no, he got greedy. He wanted another one, and he took that surgery. And I shouldn't be bad talking him. I feel really good that he got a championship after being in Detroit for so long. But
yeah,
talk about my quarterback here. He had a bad situation. Justin Fields, I feel bad for this guy. You know, I talked about Kenny Pickett last week and him being maybe the next David Carr. Same as this guy. This guy has no offensive line. All the talent in the world, no offensive line, no receiving help. Who are the receivers? Darnell Mooney. And Equanimous St. Brown? Get out of here. They're in trouble. This guy's in trouble. And he doesn't want to be there. Justin Fields does not want to be in Chicago. That's not a good combination.
Well, I mean, they barely trust him in a way either. And he's thrown less passes than I think Brady threw last game kind of thing only. You know, so yeah, they haven't got him to throw much at all.
Why? They can't protect him.
I think they kind of expected that in Chicago. The fact that they got 2 wins even so far this year is probably more of a shock than anything else. And they probably gave them false hope that they would actually be a decent team. They were expected to be bad. They were expected their O-line to be bad.
18 pressures against the Giants, 9 hits, 6 sacks. Poor Justin Fields. He's
in trouble there.
Hopefully, out of there.
Yeah, he's not going anywhere anytime soon. Hopefully, they figure it out and get a better O-line going into next season because he's still going to be there. Force a
move. You know how it is in the NFL now. These guys like to sit and they force a move. It happened all off season.
When you're that young guy and then you're going only into your 3rd season, it's going to be tough for him to force a move.
I don't think so. What they gonna do? That's the thing now with these players.
Who's gonna want him though? Who's gonna end up trading for him or giving up any assets for him?
Trade for a young QB like that?
Well, he hasn't shown much. I know he is not on a great team, but he hasn't shown a lot yet.
He has no O-line.
You invested. Chicago invested a bunch of picks because they traded up for him, so they're not going to give him up for nothing. And no team is. I'm not saying give him up for nothing,
but teams will want to get a good QB like that, especially if they have a good team around him.
We don't even know if he's a good QB or not yet. So that's a tough deal to make, man.
He has skill. Put him behind a good O-line. He's a lot better than he is in Chicago.
Could very well be, but no team knows that.
No team knows that. Watch the games.
No team is giving up a first-round pick for him.
Why not? Why wouldn't you?
I wouldn't give him a first-round pick for the guy.
Look at the pressure he's been under.
Big deal.
What do you mean big deal? That's the whole thing about a quarterback and an O-line.
Yeah.
That's a whole thing.
I don't trust that he can do any better anywhere else. No team's going to give him a
absolutely could. What regular quarterback does good with 18 pressures against the Giants D-line?
I'm just saying no one is going to offer what Chicago gave up for him.
I'm not saying that, but a team would give up a first rounder for him.
I can't see that at all. Call up all the GMs and find out.
I think a team like Seattle would definitely give a first rounder for a quarterback like Justin Fields.
Seattle's doing fine with Geno.
Yeah, and Justin Fields is better than Geno.
Do we know that?
I know that. He passes that eye test for sure. That's pretty easy to see because she has nothing in Chicago. Who's he going to throw to? Yeah, he has nothing.
No one's trading a first rounder for him. He's stuck in Chicago, and we'll see what he can do next
season. If he sits out and he's like, yo, I want to be traded, someone will give a first rounder for Justin Fields for sure.
No one's going to give a first rounder for a guy in his 3rd season who hasn't done anything in the league sitting out.
I think by the skill and what you see, for sure you would give up a first rounder for Justin Fields.
You know what? We'll see.
I think so. I don't think they'll put him on the market unless he sits out.
He won't sit out. But anyways.
If he doesn't want to be there, he'll sit out. Because that's what all these other players have already done. The precedent has been set.
But these guys have shown they can throw the ball. Kyler Murray, who is threatening anything this season, has shown that he can actually throw the ball or move or whatever. So
it's not just quarterbacks. The whole league.
I get it.
I sit out for a new contract.
But guys have done stuff before they did that. Debo did it too. He actually showed that he can play receiver. So
yeah,
Fields is going to have to show a lot more before he can do that.
He won't show a lot more anymore with the team he's behind, for sure. No chance in hell. After the first quarter of the season, which team has the most impressive offense and which team has the most impressive defense? Let's start with offense. Oof. I would have had Miami, but since Tua got hurt, no. So I'll take the Detroit Lions. They've been putting up points. 35 against the Eagles, 36 against the Commanders, 45 against the Seahawks. Shoot, top 5 passing, top 6 rushing. Props to them. They're looking good.
Yeah, if only they had a defense, they might have won some games.
Their defense stinks. They put up 35, they let 38 go. Ugh.
Yeah. Well, yeah. What did you say? The offense scored about 140 points, I think, right? I think the D has given up one more point than that.
That's right. 141.
So, yeah, very impressive offense so far. Goff has actually looked good, limited his mistakes too. So, it's been pretty good.
His touchdown to interceptions, 11-3.
Yeah. And one was a Hail Mary at the end of the game against the Vikings, where his defense could not stop the Vikings.
Unbelievable. and he has some good weapons too. He has like a TJ Hawkinson, DeAndre Swift, that Jamal Williams running back. Shoot.
And Amon St. Brown.
That's right.
Who Amon St. Brown and Swift were both out Sunday, and he still led that offense to over 40 points.
Hawkinson went nuts that day, didn't he?
Yes, he did. Yeah. He was the man, and Jamal Williams had a great game too.
Man, if Detroit could get half a defense, they'd be like in first place in the NFC North.
Yeah. Yeah, they could be 4-0. They've been in every one of their games. They've lost close games. And unfortunately, they've lost games where they're ahead and then blown it.
I need to start wearing my Detroit Lions jersey on Sundays now. Put the black and gold away for a rest of it. Who do you got as the best offense or most impressive offense so far?
I stuck between two, and I was trying to figure out. I got the Bills and KC, but I'm going to give it to KC, who looked very impressive. Obviously not in that Indy game, but looked very impressive against Tampa Bay, moving up and down the field at will. And Tampa Bay's got a great D. Mahomes is using all his weapons, and of course he's got Kelsey, the biggest weapon of all. But it's looking pretty impressive, and it's looking like there's not one guy you can focus on.
Yeah,
I mean, there's Kelsey obviously, but there's all other receivers are not Tyreek Hill that they're going after. They're spreading that ball around.
How about defense?
You're going to call me a homer for this one, but I'm going 49ers, man. What they did to Stafford on Monday night was amazing. They've only given up, they're averaging 17.8 points per game, 15 sacks. Obviously, I mean, 7 of them were in that one game. But only allowing also 2.9 yards per carry.
That's crazy. That is crazy. Yeah.
And 5 yards per pass attempt. And they've only allowed 2 TDs through the air, 4 interceptions. So, and 2 TDs on the ground only. They only allowed 39 total points.
That's crazy.
7 of it was done by field goal return or a blocked field goal. So it's been pretty impressive so far. They've played decent offenses. They had the Rams. The best quarterback, going back to it, Justin Fields, was actually through 2 TDs against them in broken coverage. When the Niners were were winning that game and blew it.
That's pretty good.
That's the only thing he did.
Put 2 TDs against such a fierce defense.
He had it was also a monsoon, but he had a wide open guy.
He did it in a monsoon. Wow.
The Bombers. The Niners left wide open. So blown plays in that game. But pretty impressive start so far. We'll see if they can keep it going.
I'm going to go with like the rest of everyone and go with the Buffalo Bills. I just like the talent and the way they fly around the field. They're a fun defense to watch. I don't know if that's, you know what I mean? Like, a lot of offenses are fun to watch, but they're a defense that's fun to watch. They just move around. They guys have flying over the place. They blitz from all types of places on the field. So I like watching the Bills. Maybe they're not that impressive this year so far, but I took the Bills.
They've had a lot of injuries hit them as well. So maybe we'll see if they get those guys back and how much better they get. Going back to the Niners, I got to point out to you because obviously Troy Polamalu in Pittsburgh. But if you watch a little bit of Telona, I just want to say this right, Telona Hafanga, safety of the Niners. He's got the hair. He looks like Polamalu, and he's been playing pretty impressive so far to start the season. Obviously, I'm not saying he's Polamalu, but he gives that kind of vibe. Always in the right spot at the right time kind of thing. So check him out and see what he's been doing on the field. He had a pick 6 too on Monday.
Yo, Polamalu, you put in that Samoan family of greatness.
No, I'm not putting him there yet. He's just looking like that. So hopefully, if he can get to what half of Polamalu was, I'd be happy.
That's fair. There's a nice place in my heart for Troy Polamalu.
Yeah, he was always impressive.
That's always a good debate. Polamalu and Ed Reed. It's hard for me to. Ed Reed was. Anyway,
they're both great, and they're both in the same division. That's the thing, eh?
Heck yeah, that was some good football with those stars.
Oh, it was good.
NFL quick and dirty predictions. Let's start off with the Dolphins and the Jets. I'm going to take the Dolphins. I'm not a buyer in Zach Wilson, even though they beat the Steelers quite yet. And I think Teddy B will do enough to get the win.
Yeah, I'm picking the Dolphins as well. We saw Teddy come in that game. He moved that offense pretty good against Cincinnati. Even that, I still think the Dolphins D will be too good for the Jets anyway. So
for sure. Let's move on to Bengals Ravens NFC North divisional game. I got the Bengals rolling and the Ravens reeling, so I'll take the Bengals at home.
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna go. I haven't picked one here.
Bengals away. Sorry, Bengals away.
Bengals are away. Yes, I'm gonna take the Ravens then. Big divisional battle. We'll see if Lamar can keep it going. Offensively he's beaten up some Ds. I mean, he wasn't great last week against the Bills. So we'll see if he can get back on track a bit. If Burrow's O-line can help him stay upright, then they got a pretty good chance. But this should be a pretty good game.
Yeah, I'll enjoy watching this one.
Yeah.
I'll probably watch this one or another game. Cowboys versus the Rams. Who do you got in that matchup?
Cooper Rush. Undefeated start to his career is going to end. I'm picking the Rams to win this game.
Ooh, really? The Rams with a hobbled Matt Stafford. I'm taking the Cowboys. That Cowboys defense is playing elite. And I think playing against the Rams who aren't looking good, it doesn't really matter who plays QB at this point. I don't think the Rams will be able to score much points.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Usually after they get beat down by the Niners, they come back with a bit of a vengeance. They got something to prove. You think McVay, he's probably going crazy. He's got to figure out that offense, figure out how to use other people besides Kupp and Higbee.
This is not a good defense to experiment against, though.
Nah, we'll see. Yeah, I mean that Dallas D has played pretty well. So the Rams have a lot of injuries. They do on the O-line, which is not helping Stafford at all. So
poor champs.
Yeah. It'll be interesting. I mean, I hope the Cowboys win. I mean, I don't like either of these teams as a Niner fan, but the Rams are in the Niners division, so go Cowboys, I guess.
Yeah, fair enough. I thought the Cowboys will win it. You got the Rams in this one. Let's go against the Birds versus the Birds, Eagles, Cardinals. Who do you got in this one?
I'm going to go with the Eagles. Cardinals still haven't, especially on D, have not looked great. Their offense has been slow moving until later in games. I think the Eagles in Arizona this will be another offensive shootout, I think, even though the Eagles do have a pretty good D. Maybe not. Maybe I think the Cardinals will start off slow. Kyler Murray will probably have difficulty and then probably get some garbage points or whatever to make it closer than what it is.
Yeah, I got the Eagles in this one. The Eagles are still soaring, and I can't buy into the street ball legend of Kyler Murray. Sorry. So I'm going to take the hot Eagles on this one. Don't forget to share your predictions in the comments section below. All good?
All good.
So let's talk about some Winnipeg Jets then. Winnipeg Jets season coming up. Our favorite team to talk about. This should be interesting all year long. So let's start off with the first question here. The first hot topic. Are the Jets a playoff team? Benny?
Straight up, no. I'm going to say no, but obviously let's see what happens and where it goes. We've said it before. Let's give it a couple months or whatever and see what they can do. I'm not a believer yet in Bonus and his system and all that stuff. But I'll definitely give him a chance, but I think they'll get close. I don't see them like battling for the first overall pick or anything like that.
Yeah.
But I think it'll be a tough season. Obviously, if Hellebuck stands on his head and gets back to more of the form he was 2 seasons ago, they got a pretty wicked chance to make it. But I'm gonna say no.
I think as a roster, yes, they are a playoff team. I agree with you. Hellebuck has to have a bit of a bounce back year, but I think for that to happen, the defense has to play better too. There is talent on that defense. Like this defense is not talentless. They're sizeless. Like 4 out of 6 of their defensemen are under or 6 feet and under. So getting that puck in their zone, playing in the corners is not a strength of theirs, and they've struggled. So if that defense can find some kind of identity as of just, being able to block shots and then move the puck up maybe and join the rush, I think they can be. Like apparently they're only like 5 wins off a playoff pace last year, and they're one of the teams that led the league in games lost to injuries to their starters. So if they can stay healthy, if the defense can play well and Hellebuck kind of rebound, I think they are a playoff team. That's a lot of contingencies.
Yeah, the D will be an interesting thing because, like you say, like even coming into last year with the trade for Dillon and Schmidt, you're thinking, oh, wow, this is probably the best 6 we've had, since that playoff run kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
And then it all faltered. It didn't go well. Hellebuck didn't play well. So it was a combination of all that, right? So yeah, we'll see. We're obviously assuming here Logan Stanley is probably going to, like you say, it's a smaller D core, right? Mm-hmm. So Logan Stanley probably gets that 6th spot just to have his size in there. But if they can move that puck quickly, it'll be interesting.
Yeah, like you said, when they had that, when they brought in those defensemen last year, there are a couple fools out there who took the Jets to go all the way, but maybe this year, but I doubt it.
Is one of them here right now?
I don't know. Fools can be right. Fools can be wrong. Shoot. Let's go with who will be the leading scorer on the Winnipeg Jets. I got Mark Scheifele on this one. Oh. I like that lineup. Why?
Yeah.
No, that's bad?
No, I got the same guy. I thought maybe we'd get somebody different, but I got the same one.
I just like that lineup. I think things will open up with him, and the power play minutes that he'll get and the open ice I think they'll create. He's a very ice-conscious player, high IQ, and I think with that speed on the side of him, I think he'll excel. I hope.
Well, and then you also got Connor, who's going to score some goals too, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The speed on sides of him, yeah. For sure.
I think Scheifele's got a lot to prove this year. So I feel like he's going to have a wicked season and a big bounce back season. So
yeah,
I expect him to be all over the place and to actually be playing some defense this year.
Do you think if he has a good enough season, or if anyone has a good enough season, a breakout year where they have something to prove, do you think someone will grab the C before the season's over, or do you think we're rolling with A's all the way to the end?
You know what? If the season's going well without it, I think they're probably just going to roll with A's just to the end, right? Yeah. And then make a decision in the offseason. If they feel like leadership's lacking, then I could see them giving a seat to somebody. Mm-hmm. But if it's going well, just leave it as is.
Right on. Who is set to pop off? I'll let you go first because we might actually have the same answer here again.
You know what? He's been popping off or getting better and better every year, but I'm expecting a breakout season. Not a breakout season, but a high point season for Nick Ehlers this year. Same one? Same
guy again. I just felt that I should give you that reaction too. Same guy, for sure.
It's funny because we talked about before, how he should be able to get to 40 goals, no problem, right?
Yeah.
Just playing with Scheifele and Connor, they're more goal scorers. I feel like his assists will actually go up more than his goals now this year on that line. And he'll still get the goals.
Yeah.
But I think he's going to chip in quite a few apples, as they call them. So
absolutely. Like he has a skill. We know he has a skill. He's a decent two-way player.
Yeah.
He hustles. He gets back. He's not a physical force, but he gets back. And he gets back into the offensive rush. He hasn't had over 59 points since the 2016, 17, 17, 18 2 seasons where he touched 60 and 64. And I think he will do it this year. And I agree with you. I think he might crack 30 goals, but I'm hoping he hits 70 points. And I think those apples will go up.
Yeah, he missed how many games? Almost 20 games last year or something like that, right?
Yeah.
And he ended just under 30. So that's why I expect that jump even up to 40. But like we say, playing with these two guys, he might be more the assist guy than anything. But yeah, he's two-way. He plays hard. He's also going to be getting power play PP1 minutes. So that'll definitely boost up his points. And it looked impressive against Calgary, that power play. It hit and clicked tonight in an exhibition game there. So I like the nice setup he gave to Scheifele.
I'm looking forward to it. So with all the optimism, let's bring this next question in. Who is set to possibly disappoint this season?
I couldn't settle on one player. I was, bantering about Wheeler or whatever, but I don't think Wheeler's still going to disappoint. I think he's going to put up the points that he should, kind of thing, at his age and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm worried about the bottom six altogether as a whole there, because that lacked any scoring or any help last year in the scoring department for the Jets.
Yeah.
And it doesn't totally look any better this year. It looks like pretty much the same, except for a few new guys, Sam Gagner maybe. So we'll see. Yeah. So, and if he can stay healthy, kind of thing, because he couldn't stay healthy last year when he had the chance. So I hope they can be better, but I think that might be what hurts the Jets quite a bit, is that bottom six.
I'm in the same zone in regards to the bottom six, and I'm looking specifically at Adam Lowry. We're always looking for him to take that next step. And it's not necessarily about points-wise, because you look at players like Zapata around the same 3 million, 3.25. They're putting up 30, 33, and he's almost there. But it's just if you're going to be a physical presence, be a physical presence all the time on both sides of the ice. If you're going to get in front of the net, put some of those in. It just feels like he could be more of a physical force and a disturbance on the ice while producing at the same time. So I'm hoping he does, but I'm thinking it might not, and he might end up in the fourth line by end of season.
Yeah, we've seen he can score. He's got decent hands when everything's going right. But he needs more consistency in that, and he needs to, like you say, chip in a lot of points, chip in some assists. Same with Appleton on that line. I don't know who's going to be the third guy. We'll find out. But those guys need to chip in goals, not just once every 10, 15 games.
Good Jets talk. I can't wait to talk Jets more all year. It's going to be
season kicks off. 14th is their first game, right? First regular season game against the Rangers.
Whew.
And Captain Jacob Trouba.
That's a good team. Yeah, he's coming back, and he's going to have fun in Winnipeg for sure. For sure. Don't forget to put your comments in the section. Put your comments in the comments section below about the Winnipeg Jets. Leave us your thoughts. Leave a like. We want to hear what you're thinking, and so do the rest of the folks that tune into the channel. Some great comments over the past few weeks. Get in on the discussion. Benny, do you have a brickhead?
Yeah, sticking still with hockey in the NHL. I'm giving it to the Montreal Canadiens for signing Logan Mayo. Who is charged in Sweden with secretly photographing an 18-year-old woman while they're engaged in a sexual act, and then sharing that photo with other people against her consent.
Disgusting.
The fact that they even drafted this guy in the first place, now you've signed him to a 3-year contract, especially with all the crap going on with Hockey Canada and everything going on in this day and age.
Yep.
Terrible move. Montreal Canadiens, you're my brickhead of the week.
Just adding more to this acidic hockey culture. Sorry about that.
Yeah, I'm not against giving a guy a second chance or letting them right the wrong or anything, but you got to let this guy, I don't know, show something, show some remorse, show some change before you bring him into the fold. But
that's nasty.
Yeah.
Ugh. If someone found out I did that at my job, or not at my job, but someone at my job found out I did that, I wouldn't have a job.
No, that's true.
So deal with that. Let's continue on with acidic, toxic hockey culture. I'm going to give my shout out to Quebec Hockey for putting their foot down. They're going to refuse to transfer money to Hockey Canada, especially from their player fees, because Hockey Canada is not changing their leadership. And they don't believe that their leadership currently, in its form, will change anything. So Hockey Manitoba, you better get on board with this.
Hockey everywhere. Hockey, every province should be all on board.
Absolutely. You see these corporations also leaving. Tim Hortons is out.
Scotiabank.
Thank you, Tim Hortons, though. They're still supporting the women's program. They're still supporting the para program. And they're still supporting the youth program. So they're really putting the pressure on the men's program. Even the men's junior program isn't getting funding.
No sponsorships for that. Scotiabank also pulled out.
Good.
So hopefully more and more start pulling out, and then Hockey Canada realizes, hey, we got to clean house. We got to start from scratch and figure this out. Yeah, it's toxic, man. Even the press conference the other day with Andrea Skinner. And the fact that they sent her up there even to discuss this when she wasn't really the problem. It's the rest of the board. She's the one, the face of it all right now. But even her answers, they're all terrible.
They're like, here, go say this.
Yeah, no responsibility, no nothing at all. And it's just like, no, we're good. No, you're not good. You're not good.
Yeah, and y'all out there, if you believe in this cause or not, y'all should be really putting the pressure on the government in regards to their funds. I don't want my tax dollars going to this organization if they don't change. So if you believe in that cause, start putting your finger on the pressure point, because it's ridiculous with Hockey Canada. So much is being revealed, and there's more. There's more coming.
Oh, there's tons that we probably don't even know about still. So.
Yeah. So on the positive, shout out to Quebec Hockey, Tim Hortons, Scotiabank, for getting on board and pulling that funding away. Hockey Manitoba, time for you to get on board. Benny, on our 1-year anniversary, do you have anything to say to our awesome friends?
You know what? Thanks a lot for sticking around with us over the last year and listening and, growing our subscriber base and our followers. Again, thanks a lot for listening. Have a good week.
And in the famous words of Mike Ditka, what's the difference between a 3-year-old puppy and a sports writer? In 6 weeks, the puppy stops whining. Hey, friends and neighbors, don't forget to check us out online on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter at Ray Benny Sports. And don't forget to check out our YouTube channel. Leave a like, leave a comment, tell us what you think.